Hi folks, Hebrew for All. Let's get started right away with a new subject for this class, class number 13, and the subject is the gender of nouns. Now don't let those words frighten you or intimidate you, because you're going to understand exactly what I mean momentarily. When we talk about the concept of gender of nouns, what we mean is that, unlike American English, where if I say dog, is that masculine or feminine? So people will say, well, just take a look and you can figure it out. But in Hebrew, words themselves are either masculine or feminine. And the rule goes according to what I have up here on the board. If the noun, which is the name of a person, place, or a thing, is ending with what we call that T-bar hey or tav, it's feminine, and otherwise it's masculine. So I think that the best way to learn this is to just give you some practical examples. So example number one, we'll give you the word kelev. I don't recall if that's a word that you've learned with me or not up until now. Kelev, masculine or feminine? And the answer is it's masculine. No doubt about it. Right? Why no doubt about it? It doesn't end with a T-bar hey or a tav. Hence, it's masculine. How about the word sifri'a? Sifri'a. So it's a modern Israeli Hebrew word. Nothing wrong with learning a modern Israeli Hebrew word. Sifri'a. Masculine or feminine? It's feminine. Why? Because it ends with a T-bar hey. T-bar hey at the end of the word. Okay, another more classical example would be the word delit. Masculine or feminine? Feminine for sure. It ends with a tav. So that's the rule that we want to go by, and it's a rule that we're going to rely on way above 90% of the time and depend on it. And as you learn new words in the language, expect that as the word ends, so will go its gender. In the upcoming class, I'll explain what the major ramification of this idea is. What difference does it make in simple English? But for starters, we have the very, very broad, close to perfect rule. If the noun ends in T-bar hey or tav, it's feminine, otherwise it's masculine, and you want to memorize that. Okay? Now, I want to call to your attention, just like everything else in life, there are exceptions. So here's a famous exception for you. Eretz. The word happens to mean land. This is a great opportunity for me to say to you folks, don't think about what the word means, even though we would like to be able to, as it were, rely on that intuitive aspect about any number of different things. Oh, that seems like a feminine thing. If you have to give gender to a thing so it seems like it could be feminine. No, don't do that. Eretz, the way to look at it is, how does the word end? Oh, it ends with a tzadi. It should be masculine, we would think. Indeed, it's feminine, and I'm adding that exclamation point to share with you the idea that it's an exception. Okay, here's another classic word that we would all want to know. Shulchan. Masculine or feminine, folks? Go ahead and answer. So for sure it's masculine, because it doesn't end with a T-bar hey or a tav. What's the plural of this masculine word? It happens to be shulchanot. So you're going to say to me, how'd that happen? Well, this is not a modern Israeli word, which might be reason for certain people to think, oh, that could mean that something goofy went on in modern Israeli Hebrew. No, it's an ancient word, and the plural of shulchan, meaning table, a biblical word, happens to be shulchanot in the plural. Now that's plain old tricky, But I call it the author of the language's sense of humor. Why? Because the exceptions, as a general rule, are going to appear in the most popular words. It's hard to go through a day without using the word shulchan, table, and hence, at a very early age, people are going to be exposed to the idea that, shulchan, that's masculine. Its plural form is shulchanot. Now, it remains masculine despite the fact that it has that ot ending, making it look, as it were, ostensibly like it's feminine. The gender doesn't change. It was shulchan masculine, and it will remain shulchan note, even in the plural, masculine, despite its seemingly feminine ending. Incidentally, had I given you this word shulchanot and asked you what's the singular of it, you might have thought to yourself, shulchana. That would have been a mistake. It would have been a reasonable assumption, but it would have been a mistake. Really, another famous word that I like to share with people is this one. This word, isha. Isha, masculine or feminine. So this lines up intuitively perfectly. In fact, it's feminine because it has a T-bar hey ending. But the word itself means a woman. Okay? What's the plural of this one? This is like Survival Hebrew 101. Because the plural of Isha is extremely irregular and happens to be Nashim. Women. W-O-M-E-N. More than one. Now that's an important word to know, because many times, if you're here in Israel, you'll approach a door where it says Nashim on it. Guess which door I'm referring to. Don't walk through there on the basis that you're seeing a Yud Mem ending on the word. You might get a slap in the face. And the next class, I'm going to expand a little bit more on this subject, but this is good for starters. All the best. It was a pleasure learning with you. Shalom, shalom.